Hey, salut friends. Today we are looking at Tam Dao from Diptyque. I have a bottle of the EDP which I will talk about. I am also familiar with the EDT which I have a sample of right here. So I'm going to compare them as well. The old Toilette version came out in 2003, so more than 20 years ago now. Then when Diptyque started to add a second concentration of their fragrances in 2012, the Eau de Parfum was released. I do enjoy Diptyque as a brand. Started with candles of course and expanded to fragrances and other products. One of the few houses that does minimalism very well. They have this contemporary, casual, somewhat academic aesthetic with their fragrances usually trying to create an ambience rather than being perfumey smells. Lately they have not released something great, seem to be concentrating on musky, molecular style scents like Papier. But they have had a lot of fantastic releases in the past, one of the better niche houses nonetheless. This one, Tam Dao, is one of their well-known fragrances, a bestseller too I believe. It has been talked about a lot since its time of release, but seems to be having some resurgence these last couple of years, because there have not been a lot of great straight up woody scents, particularly Sandalwood released in the last 10 years or so. Designers too seem to have completely abandoned this family of scents and have gone to either amberwoods or patchouli cedar bases. Some producers of Australian sandalwood are also selling off their companies. Genuine Mysore sandalwood is rare and expensive, so it is going to get more and more tough it seems. As a result, those who are new to the hobby seem to be discovering these relatively older releases. This has spawned several other imitations and inspired fragrances. Also because of its sudden popularity in Southern Asia, because of a big Bollywood star claiming this as a signature scent, that has made it explode in popularity, with many local brands trying to create their own version of the fragrance. But anyway, coming back to Diptyque, they have many creations made by Olivier Péchaud. This one, however, is made by Daniel Molière, who is mainly known for Pacha de Quartier for men and Givenchy Insensé. This one, Tam Dao, is named after one of the most serene national parks in Vietnam. This is one among the places in Indochina where one of the founders of the house, Yves Coelon, spent his childhood. This fragrance is dedicated to him, especially to his memory of watching elephants carry sandalwood that would be burnt in the temples for sacred ceremonies. This is also represented by the artwork in the bottle behind the label with some elephants and forests and so on. Now coming to the smell, let's go with the EDP first. This one opens with some lime and coriander. They are not big components, rather mellow from the departure. Then there is this fresh, woody, slightly green cypress coming through. Some myrtle, which is commonly used in Chypre fragrances to impart an aromatic, herbaceous touch, which is what it does here as well. Right after the initial opening, it becomes obvious that this is going to be a woody scent with a focus on sandalwood. A hint of rose is also detectable, which adds some plushness and natural floral sweetness to the otherwise full-on woody scent. Rosewood is also present, adding to the floral sweet qualities. Then the sandalwood takes the center stage. Here it is one of the most balanced and multifaceted sandalwoods, respecting the real stuff. It has the sweet, creamy facets which are evident in amber fragrances or when it is used to soften floral fragrances. At the same time, it manages to keep the fresh cut wood, papyrus and green aspects. What it does to the fragrance is that it makes it lighter in terms of texture and how dense it can come across. Nowhere near as something like Santal 33 from Le Labo. Also adds this nonchalant, ambience-like quality to the overall smell. Now some sites indicate Mysore sandalwood, but let's not kid ourselves here. I seriously doubt it, as it is close to impossible to attain from India because of its endangered status. It could be the same species, Santalam album, from somewhere else like Australia. At the end of the day, only Diptyque knows the exact source. More likely it is a combination of some amount of natural sandalwood and a lot of synthetic alternatives, which is fine as long as it is done well, which here it is. Does not obviously smell synthetic, piercing or like dill pickles. I have said this before, the best way to experience the smell of just unadulterated sandalwood in isolation, which can be its own perfume with enough complexity by the way, is through oils or attars. Sandalwood in fragrance form like this from Western houses is a different sort of experience which some purists do not care for, but I am more open to it, especially when there is a good application of modern techniques to recreate the different aspects of sandalwood. And I can say this is definitely one of the better ones when it comes to doing just that. Sacred Wood from Kilian used to be another one, but that's been completely downgraded now. Many other new niche brands have tried to do it. It is almost like a checkbox, right? That when you launch a brand, just like how you need to have an amber, leather, patchouli, you also have to have a sandalwood. But most of them are just disappointing as they usually end up overdosing on some synthetic replacements like xanthol, polyxanthol or javanol, which are not that convincing all the time and lack the complexity of real sandalwood. Coming back to the smell, the sandalwood is joined by the cedar, which is done in a lot of fragrances. Here it is a dry, somewhat earthy wood shaving like cedar. A big musk component is present right from the beginning. Many Diptyque fragrances have this clean white musk accord. Additionally, light touches of a musky, fresh, grey or white amber as well. Nothing particularly resinous. The scent strictly focuses on the woods throughout. Through the dry down, the smell does not change too much. If anything, it becomes dry, musky, that's about it. This eau de parfum is a genuine flanker to the eau de toilette, in that you can draw straight resemblances between the two, just some tweaks. Right away, the EDT is more mellow, less dry, less spices and less resins. It is also more creamy, lactonic, sweeter and greener, definitely brisky and fresher with coconutty facets. The EDT does not have that wood shaving like texture, more like a clean cross section of freshly cut wood. The EDP feels brown while the EDT is more blonde in terms of color that it evokes, even has this biscuity, doughy facets. The EDT is also more musky, less warmth, a huge dose of ISO is super. It also goes from sandalwood to musks rather fast, where the EDP remained woodier for longer. Overall, the EDT is a gentler, fresher, more watery, breezy, easygoing version of the scent profile. Now coming to the performance of the EDP, it is overall moderate, lasts for 5 hours on me, average projection. The EDT on the other hand is a little below average in terms of performance for me. It becomes a skin scent in under 30 minutes and lasts for 4 hours or so. The EDT also leans more towards summer and spring, so warm weather conditions. It is not a surprise as that's kind of how many Diptyque fragrances are. It is their aesthetic. None of them are really big performers except for maybe Oud Palau, which is why I go generous with the sprays and also get some on my clothes. Now which do I prefer between the two concentrations? I like them both smell wise. I went with the EDP full bottle mainly because of the performance. Sure, I am not all about that, but Diptyque used to be one of the reasonably priced brands. They were even at discounters at one point. Not anymore. A 75 ml of the EDP is 165 euros and 100 ml of the EDT is 140 euros, which is not bad by today's standards, but still not cheap either. So I would like to get something that at least I can smell on myself. Also, I feel like I go nose blind with the EDT at times because of the big dose of whatever white masks and ISO super they have added in it. Overall, I do really enjoy this fragrance, one of the better sandalwood scents out there, even featured in my best sandalwood fragrances video. I like how it does not take the usual path. It is not an aromatic or oriental, spicy, smoky sandalwood, which many brands do, completely drowning out the delicate smell of the oud. Nor does it go too much in the creamy, lactonic side, smelling like a dandy. It tried to capture more the softer aspects of sandalwood. In that way, this is a well-made, contemporary, urban, woody scent. Not opulent either, very versatile, any age, any time kind of smell. More of a linen shirt than a suit or a dress gown. I myself wear it mostly at home to sort of calm down and relax because of the subdued, soothing, meditative quality it has. I spray it on when reading books, doing yoga, or even to bed, even on my pillows or the couch at times because of that zen ambience that it creates. Is it my all-time favorite santal? Probably not, because I prefer more complex compositions like Samsara, Baudezil, or Dries Van Noten. But this is much more repeatedly wearable than those, still not boring and being a serene, woody scent. For that reason, I appreciate wearing this a lot. Certainly one of my favorites from Diptyque. My top favorite is still Bonjour en Bohème. This will be somewhere in the top 5. So there you have it, my reflection on Tam Dao from Diptyque. Thanks for watching, take care and ciao.